And welcome back. Hard times are far from over for General Motors. The car company is now facing a $10 billion class action lawsuit. That's $10 billion with a capital B. It involves potentially 15 million people who owned or leased vehicles affected by one of GM's many recalls. So how would this affect GM's business? Well, joining me now is John Vento, president of John Vento Accounting Firm. And John, it's good of you to join us today. Shed some perspective for me. This $10 billion lawsuit, what does that potentially mean for this company, General Motors?
I think in the big scheme of things, it probably isn't going to mean much, simply because lawsuits such as these are very, very common. The way I like to look at it, a recall is as common as a storm in the middle of April, just a very common occurrence.
Yeah, I was just figuring that they make $3.8 billion. If they settle at anything more than that, would that wipe out the company?
No, not at all. If they were able to survive bankruptcy, again, this, I would say, is definitely not as significant as a lot of people are making it sound.
Okay, here's another point. Recall after recall, GM is still enjoying profitable sales on its cars. How is that possible? Because this for any company would be a PR nightmare, yet they've been able to keep people buying their cars despite the recalls.
Well, it comes down to the fact that their reputation, General Motors, is out there. People know it to be a very, very reliable vehicle. Even with these recalls, I still think the brand name, the goodwill, so to speak, is still very, very strong. This company is not going out of business anytime soon. The big mistake I believe that they made is how they handled it. From a public relations point of view, made some major mistakes here. You want to tackle problems like this face on. You don't want to ignore it or try to put it on the side, because it's just going to come back to haunt you, not just with some lost sales, but also your goodwill, your name and reputation. That's what's going to keep General Motors customers coming back year after year. Something like this really hurts the company in the long run.
I mean, yeah, because John, as you mentioned, something like this hurts the company in the long run, and they've been accused of having a culture of corruption inside GM because they knew this was going on. It resulted in at least 13 deaths, numerous accidents, numerous people hurt. And then these numerous recalls. So what is the plan that they put into effect to at least keep the customers coming back to buy their vehicles?
Well, first and foremost, they have to put customer safety first. I think that is by far the most important criteria that any business, especially one in the auto industry, should be running their company by. When you have a person's life at risk, you better make sure your product is safe. That's number one. So I think their culture needs to basically be reevaluated, and rather than looking at immediate profit and worrying about how this quarter's profits are going to be affected, they have to look at this as a long-term thing that they have to deal with.
Well, having said that, how are they faring under the leadership of the new CEO, Mary Barra? We've seen her go to Congress twice now and answer a lot of questions as best as she can. How is she performing as a CEO, and what kind of vision is she making for this company?
In terms of the bottom line numbers, the company seems to be doing quite well overall. They continue to have growth in sales, profitability. So from a fundamental, are they operating the business from the numbers point of view soundly? Seems like they're doing a fairly good job with that. Again, the problem is not how they're running the business, but I think how they are basically treating their customers.
And has she appeared forthright in trying to get to the bottom of this?
Well, I guess that's all a matter of opinion. I'm not sure what my opinion is on that one.
Okay, but her leadership really counts publicly.
Absolutely. She is the face of the company, at least for now.
Okay, and your assessment of her is what at this point?
I would just say neutral. I can't really give you a strong opinion one way or the other, but the company itself seems to be doing fine.
Yeah, it does indeed, despite all the problems that they've encountered and caused. John Vento, we thank you for your perspective on this.